Hello, beautiful souls. How are you today? I am coming to you today with a channeled conversation, and let's just say it didn't really go as I expected it to. So one of my sisters had messaged me and said, "Hey, can you confirm something for me?" And without divulging really any information that is not allowed. um, Basically, it was a family member that had passed that stepped forward to to have a conversation with my sister, and it started out like from the get go. There was some, I'm so happy to hear from you, and that kind of stuff, like just generic stuff. And pretty quickly, the conversation turned into some pretty major disclosure. So I will tell you this right now. This video will be uploaded also to Rumble. Um, Hopefully it lives on in internet land. We'll see. So I'm going to just set this up with, this is a male that has transitioned. He's passed away several years ago now, born in 1922, and we'll call him K. So this is a Q&A between one of my sisters and a family member that crossed over and came back. We will call him K. Question: were you really a drill sergeant in the U.S. Army in World War II? Answer: yes. The Army base was near Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota. Officially, I was drill sergeant, staff sergeant, E6 ranking. Question: did you have or receive a higher ranking within the Army? If so, can you disclose the rank you held? Answer: yes. Along with higher rank came higher security clearance. With higher rank also came the offer of more, which, to put it bluntly, you would call blackmail today. It didn't fit with my growing family, so I declined. And I'm going to pause here. This is when I was confirming this information for her. And I recommend that if you're contacted by a being that is a guide or whatever, it doesn't matter if it's your first contact or your 51st contact. You want to make sure that you're confirming the information is coming from who you think it's coming from, with another, partner in crime, soul family member, crew member that's clear, that can get that definite answer for you. So I was confirming this information as it was coming through. And it was at this point when I said, oh, so this is how we get shadow military within the military. And I say that to you as a veteran. I served 6 years active duty in the Army. Okay, continuing on. Third question. This is a 3-part question, okay? First part: did Hiroshima, or Hiroshima, however you say it, happen? Answer: yes and no. There were a lot of factors involved. Second part of the question: what was your role in the aftermath of Hiroshima? Answer: I was stationed there, but it was not a cleanup mission. Third part of this question: was there actually an atomic bomb dropped twice on Japan? Answer: there was an atomic bomb being developed, but that is not what happened in Japan. It was definitely something else. Then he showed her a vision of a lab where they were combining chemicals viruses, bacteria, and drugs, and just any experiment you could think of with those components. And then he says the purpose was to use these experiments to destabilize the area for transporting little people and taking parts of their bodies, we'll say. A nuclear, atomic, or hydrogen bomb would not cause the level of disease and disfigurement that I witnessed firsthand. Whatever it was they used was created to look to the world like a nuclear disaster or bomb. Question. Were there a specific reason why the Army sent you to Greenland to help build military base there? Answer. Yes. And another way to ask is, why did the U.S. military need a base in Greenland? Remember, Roswell, New Mexico, 1945. President Truman met with some beings, and the next thing we know, he sold out the human race. The part of the Army I was a member of was tasked with righting some wrongs in the timelines and history. Greenland military base is not a U.S. military base. It is a Galactic Alliance and Galactic Federation base. Our group knew the military industrial complex were going to expand the base in New Mexico that you now know as Area 51. We decided we needed to have one disguised as a U.S. base. There was another one you may recognize, another Galactic Alliance and GFL base. You would know it as Gitmo. Okay, next question. What did you have, why did you have a portrait of President JFK in your bedroom closet? Answer. He was the most beloved president of his time. He was also my president. Certain vets that I served with were against President Kennedy and sided with those who took his life. The part of the Army I was in, they were very loyal to JFK, and we have always loved him and protected him. All he ever wanted was to return to the people of Earth their peace and sovereignty. That was his biggest flaw, according to the controllers that were, we'll say. Question. Why is it hard to find any information on you or your birth parents? Answer. First of all, I have to say that I have always loved my mother. She gave me up at 3 to an orphanage. She visited me daily until I was adopted, and then I never heard or saw from her again. My birth mother's family worked tirelessly to hide where I came from and who they were. When you have a vast amount of wealth, you can pay large sums of money to have anything buried, hidden, or not even known by anyone. Are you open to answering questions from others? Yes. Advice for the collective in this now moment for the answer. For the children, don't be in too much of a hurry to grow up and do grown-up things. Enjoy childhood as long as possible. Then he shows her an image of a triangle. The triangle at the very top has love. And then the bottom left, gratitude. And the bottom right, forgiveness. And he says, these are the 3 keys that go hand in hand. And we implore everyone to speak up, speak their truth, be loud if you have to, There's nothing to fear. And he emphasized that there's nothing to fear. Question: any advice or evidence that can help the collective that has started to question things but have a loyalty to all things military that keeps them from accepting the full truth? Answer: they need to let go of the attachment of loyalty to the military and all things. That's their hurdle of not accepting truth when faced with it. Some are currently working through this as they truly want to know and learn the truth. For others, it is only words that wish, when they say, I wish I knew the truth, and then someone presents them with it, and they turn their cheek, the other cheek, because the truth is ugly. That's their trigger and their attachment to lies, false idols to work through. The ending isn't for everyone is more than just a statement. You may not end with everyone you started out with. Everyone is at their own level of understanding, journey, and remembering. That's the end of the channeled information. Now I'm going to give you my 411 here. I've been reading through the Michael Prophecies, which is written by David Wilcock. Highly, highly intelligent, very respected in his field. And he has received channeled messages from Archangel Michael since the late 80s. And the Michael Prophecies are books made from those transcripts. So in the Michael Prophecies, he speaks about that in the early 1900s to present day, the three-letter agencies make note of babies, specific criteria babies, that the one that really stood out to me were the babies that are in the incubators. So they're either premature, or when they're born, they have some issues and they have to go into intensive care type environment, and they're in an incubator. Well, scientifically, that's been proven in some beings that down the road it causes pieces and parts of the brain that give them empathy to not fully form or be completely disconnected from the rest of their brain, which serves the three-letter agencies and military industrial complex with a specific type of being that can do specific types of things. When you lack empathy, I think that definitely sets you up to partake in certain things that others could not. So, as I was reading about Kay's experience in the orphanage, and then that he was adopted, and once he was adopted, there was never any more contact with his birth mom, and then he ended up in the military. It hit me that was probably exactly what happened to him, is that he had some qualities. He ended up on some sort of radar and was recruited into the military. Now, he aligned with Source Creator, he aligned with the light, and so he ended up in the white hats of the 40s, so the 1940s. So there were clandestine operations, scientifically and militarily, way back. Okay, and he has stepped forward with this information that is firsthand. So yes, it comes through the channel, but when this conversation started, legit, she thought, oh, I'm just going to get to catch up with someone that I've missed for many, many years. And it obviously was disclosure. I mean, and he will continue to give us information. There's information that he gave us that I can't disclose yet. It's not time. But that definitely sounds very plausible. And so the place On the thumbnail of this video, there is an image of an old school, and it looks super creepy. And that is the school / orphanage that he was turned over to when he was 3, and he wasn't adopted until he was 5 or 6. It's called the Minnesota State School. It was originally called Awatana School, and it was initially a Catholic retraining school for the indigenous children that were basically kidnapped from their tribe and had every semblance of their culture ripped from them. So their hair was cut, they were beaten and brutalized for using their own native tongue and healing modalities and anything that resembled indigenous life. They were beaten and sexually assaulted by nuns and priests wearing crucifixes and holding the Bible. That school became an orphanage that was then turned into what is the Minnesota State School. It's my belief that he, Kay, as an orphan, was made note of. There's some significant family history for this being, and was tracked, and then recruited him for certain missions. I commend him, and I commend his bravery, because these questions, these topics, really, the questions he could have, there's many times we ask questions, and we don't get the answer because we can't have the answer for whatever reason. To disclose this level of information to us, and also be willing to give more down the road, and he gave me more that I wasn't able to give to you guys today, I felt it as a very significant shift in the energies and momentum of the world, the way that we know it. So I hope that you take this information and you go digging. You go find some truth. And if nothing else, just leave it as a little mustard seeds for something that may make a whole lot more sense later on down the road. Again, I appreciate the willingness of this being that has transitioned, that felt compelled to come back and share these facts with us so that we know the truth. Even though the truth is horrific at times to deal with, the truth is something that can be respected where lies cannot. And I am very, very humbled and honored to have received this information and been asked to share it with you all. I hope that you have a great day, and I'll talk to you again later.